on a simulated terrain that had like Martian like sand and rocks, and then because as you're walking around, you're trying to not fall over on the rock and you're trying to hold this weight. Because the last thing you want to do is get to Mars and then break your hip, walking outside the capsule the first time. That'd be a pretty short end to a long mission. So yeah, it was really interesting. And I think for me personally, it made a huge difference waiting. If I had tried to do that 1 hour after landing versus 24 hours after landing, it was. I think it's so fascinating to me, like how quickly your brain adapts. And I think we've talked about it a lot, like a baby. Like you just want to sleep, but that sleep is so important because your brain is just doing all this background work to like rewire itself and figure out what is all this crap. What do I do with all this weight, and how does my body work? So it was pretty fascinating.
Post-flight, and as you mentioned, like 300 experiments on board. Kayla, did you have a favorite? It's impossible to pick one.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked the plant experiments. I thought those were really cool. Kind of looking forward to exploration missions and trying to understand how we could grow some of our own food. And I think it's just kind of different in this, pretty industrial laboratory environment of the space station to see growing living things that we get to take care of. So that was really cool. And we actually got to try the chili peppers that Mark had been growing for a while. He harvested them right after we got there. So that was really cool. And then I really like a lot of the engineering or technology demonstrations that I think could be interesting for future missions, like the Astrobees, the free-flying robots that we're trying to understand how we could use robotic technology to help reduce the number of hours we spend doing sort of routine menial tasks. And so I always think that's really cool to kind of see what sort of technologies we're working on that we could apply to future exploration missions.
Yeah, I love all that stuff too, because when people are motivated to say get to Mars, you spend a lot of time at the moon, use people as efficiently as you can when they're there. All these other things drop out that become useful and useful to everybody, really. I mean, we've, like our life support systems, the way we reclaim water, which we kind of have to do, up to hopefully 98% of our water can be reclaimed. I mean, that's already been technology that's been used on the Earth and places where there's not a lot of water. NASA's been helping with that, but pretty much everything we do up there has some kind of application on the Earth in some way. It's been really fascinating.
I think we only have a couple more minutes. Maybe as a closing question, we could all share what your highlight of the mission was.
For me, as I expected ahead of time, highlight of the mission, I mean, besides the very fulfilling work, was looking out the window with somebody else, with one of my crewmates. And just to get to enjoy watching the Earth through their eyes as well as my own eyes. That's always some of my best memories.
Yeah, for me, I think looking out the window, but then also just some of the very defining moments, like seeing the space station for the first time, or seeing the first aurora from space, or like re-entry, like just like the very, like dynamic events and just pieces and segments of that, I think, are what will stick with me the longest.
Yeah, I think all of those amazing firsts that really stick with you too. Like, I think looking into each of your eyes across the circular handrail outside the airlock on spacewalks was really cool. Like, that was a really huge highlight that all 4 of us from Crew-3 got to do spacewalks on the mission. And I think those memories will really stick with me of being outside together and doing some awesome work. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I think one of the questions from online was what we did for entertainment on Crew Dragon. I think we was lucky that we had some time between deorbit and undocking, and what we did was look out the window and kind of just take it all in. We were actually counting down, like, all right, this is the last sunrise we'll see, Dragon, last sunset we'll see. It was pretty cool to.
And just living in zero G, day-to-day life is fascinating. Food, fluids, water, just every object that we handle. I mean, I thought it was fun brushing my teeth, getting dressed, everything, because it's so unique.
Yeah.
Up there.
What an amazing experience.
Yeah. It was.
I'm glad we got to do this Facebook Live because we haven't seen each other much in the past 5 days, so it's good to see.
Yeah, Matthias is our other crewmate. He's been in Germany since we landed, which has been really weird to work and live with him, and then as soon as we land, it's like, all right, he's gone. But thanks for joining us, and this has been great, and look forward to more interactions, and once we are feeling better, back to going out and actually seeing people in person. It's pretty cool now that that we're in a place in the country with COVID where we can actually go back in person once we're out of our quarantine and meet with people again.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.